Greetings and welcome to the 8th episode of Morrowind Modding Manors. As always, I'm your host, Elf Guy, and today we have another set of 3 housing mods looking at some of the Hlaalu-style estates of Ardenfell for your viewing pleasure as we try and find your ideal Resdayn home. As mentioned, these are all Hlaalu-styled homes that come in a variety of locations, and these are mostly, fairly underrated house mods, so I imagine most of you probably won't be familiar with them, but that's what this channel is here for. And you can find download links for all the mods shown down in the video description below. So let's get things started with our first house mod, and that's Suran Hillside Manor by Erstam. And this mod adds a new manor to the hills outside of Suran, as you might expect from the mod name, with a cool forested path full of colourful flowers leading up to the estate proper. The home itself has a great vantage point overlooking the city of Suran and the surrounding areas of the Ascadian Isles region, and it sort of has a mix of Hlaalu and common architecture. And something important to note here, this is an exterior-based home. That means the interior is actually out in the exterior world space, which is a bit unique. Not too many house mods use this format, and actually, for good reason, as we'll get to in a little bit. But anyway, you'll notice the upper levels are, fairly open, with large glass windows providing some fantastic views, and letting sunlight stream in during the daylight hours. There's also a set of bridges that'll take you to the Daedric ruins nearby, if you're looking to do a bit of dungeon delving out that way. Now, it should be noted that this is actually a fairly conflict-heavy location. There's a ton of mods that use this exact same spot, including several fantastic house mods that were on the Planet Elder Scrolls Hall of Fame back in the day, so, just keep that in mind. And anyway, you can see the manor on the map here, and it's just outside of Suran, with a very short commute to get into town. And going back to the outside here, you can walk right into the manor by just, opening the front door, really. And inside, you'll find a small dining area on the first floor with a small kitchen-like fireplace. And upstairs you'll find the main commons area, with access to outdoor balconies that overlook the town, and also a small little greenhouse here. There's also a lounge with a roaring fireplace and couches for you to sit and enjoy the fire. And you also find that these upper levels come already, fairly finished with a number of decorations. But keep in mind, since this is an exterior-based home, frame rates will likely drop a fair amount, since the game engine is rendering a lot more than just the house itself. Now, besides the lounge, greenhouse, and balconies, you also find a small study and library over here on the side, which doesn't include a whole lot, just a desk, bookshelf, and display case, but it does have some pretty fantastic floor-to-ceiling windows to give you some, truly great views. And upstairs on the 3rd floor, you'll find the master bedroom, including a large master bed naturally, a bathtub, a small desk on the side, and a few containers that you can store your stuff in. And there's also naturally an outdoor balcony you can walk out on with a table and some chairs where you can, take your breakfast or what have you. And of course, like the rest of the house, there's some, pretty amazing views from up here with lots of windows to really take full advantage of the exterior environment. But all this is not to say that this house doesn't come with an interior component, because it does, though it's a bit of a different style from the exterior house. Inside you'll find a large Raydoran set of rooms with a beautiful central pool area bordered by flowering trees and capped off by waterfalls, and there's a large number of rooms to either side of this pool with glass windows overlooking the central area. But you'll notice none of these rooms have any furnishings in them. That's partly because these rooms have been set aside for you to decorate yourself, particularly if you have a furniture mod installed. In fact, the author Erstam was one of the contributors to David Humphrey's furniture mod, so this house mod is really meant to be played with that installed, though you can also, use other furniture mods if you so desire. Overall, Suran Hillside Manor is, certainly a unique and beautiful home in the Ascadian Isles region, with some truly fantastic views and a novel design concept. Though it can get a bit on the laggy side as a result, it does come with a few features though, such as a short commute to Suran, a greenhouse, storage, and lots of rooms for you to decorate to your heart's content with a furniture mod installed. If you're looking for something original with enough space to add your own touch, this is definitely one mod that you should check out. For our next mod, we have Ascadian Isles Estate by Denina, and this mod adds a new and fairly large enclosed estate just south of Ebonheart, and the entire property is, fully walled in, including a rather spacious outdoor living space and yard, as well as the main manor house, as you can see here. And real quick, you can see this estate on the map here, and fair warning, this is a rather conflict-heavy area with a lot of other mods using the exact same spot. And anyway, the house isn't exactly free. You'll have to defeat the previous occupant, a fairly difficult boss battle that'll probably require a level 20 character to defeat. And once you've done that though, the house is all yours for the taking, and truth be told, it's a fairly simple looking abode. There's not a whole lot of decorations here. There's a fairly basic bare bones kitchen and dining room, as well as an alchemy lab with labelled ingredient jars, but there's basically no decorations to speak of, and that's actually deliberate, going by the author's description. This is to leave you with plenty of space to add your own items, and really decorate the home how you want it to look like. That said, there are some rather interesting features here, such as a shrine room with both an imperial altar and a Dunmud temple shrine that you can, use to get killed and the like. And naturally, there's also a storage hall where you can find a number of chests and crates to store your loot in as you so desire. And of course, wrapping things up, there's a master bedroom with a bed, side dining area, and a dressing area. And once again, this has been left, mostly barren, so you can add your own assortment of decorations or whatnot. And overall, this is a fairly simple and plain Hlaalu-style manor in the Ascadian Isles region, with a nice walled-in yard and a mod site required in order to obtain the house. It does come with a teleport ring that you can get from Duke Drin once you've dealt with the previous owner, as well as a decent amount of storage space, a short commute to Ebonheart, and a lot of space for you to add your own decorations and touches. And this is really a house mod that's meant for those, who love decorating their own homes, and if that's something you're into, I would, recommend checking this one out. And finally, our last house mod is Odai Manor by Elamir, and this adds a rather, large Hlaalu-style manor to the city of Balmora right along the Odai River, and like with the other mods that we've already showcased, this does come with a conflict warning, since this location is again quite popular with dozens of other mods in the exact same spot. Perhaps most notably, the Necessities of Morrowind mod adds a bakery right into that same little location there. The map here is practically unnecessary, of course, but as you can see, it's definitely, well within the Balmora city limits, everyone's favourite location for house mods. And inside you'll find a fairly large, kind of cozy abode, with a large dining room immediately off to the side of the entry hall here, with a massive dining table capable of seating, quite a few guests, though the rest of the room is kind of empty. And off to the side here you'll find a small kitchen, really quite small, and the kitchen also comes with access to the downstairs cellar, where you'll find the majority of the storage for this home, including a couple of, dozen containers, a smithy area, and a training area. There's also a fair bit of open space where you can, add your own decorations and furniture if you, again, have a furniture mod installed. There's also a few shelving units over to the side that utilize a pretty cool design, and going below the cellar you'll find a small cabin that basically acts as a swimming pool that you can use, and it's a pretty cool and atmospheric bit of space right here, at least I think so. Upstairs on the second floor, you'll find a modest-sized library with a ton of bookshelves here that you can use for displaying items, or if you have the book rotate mod, you can also use it for storing books. And there's also a small display area here in the back, which can, also double as an alchemy lab if you so desire. And finally, up on the third floor, you'll find a small lounge area with chairs and tables around a central roaring fireplace. And also up here on the third floor is the master bedroom, which naturally includes a bed, a private dining area where you can, take your meals in seclusion, a small study, and a few containers for storing your stuff. Overall, this is a modest-sized, cozy Hlaalu-style manor in the heart of Balmora with a pretty nice and unique design to the interior, particularly with the basement and cellar. It does also come with a few features like lots of storage space, open areas for you to add your own personal decorations, a small library and display hall, and obviously a near non-existent commute into town. There are a couple of minor issues that should be noted with this mod. There's about 3 or 4 minor construction bugs that I noticed with a lot of Z fighting, but that sort of thing may not bother everyone, and this is certainly an interesting house mod to check out regardless of those minor issues. And anyway, that wraps up this episode of Morrowind Modding Manors. We'll be back in a couple of weeks with another set of house mods for your viewing pleasure. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.